Self-awareness is a superpower. Welcome to Soul and Vibration. This video is about the zodiac sign Virgo. Virgos are born between August 23rd and September 22nd. Before I get into this video, I just want to say that all Virgos are not created equal. And you might say, what does she mean by that? And no, I'm not referring to your sun. I'm not your sun, I'm sorry. No, I'm not referring to your moon sign or your rising sign or your north node or any of those placements. I'm referring to the numbers within your birthday, your life path number and the number of your birthday itself. But I'll get further into that as we get further into the video. And I think you're going to find this to be helpful because you've probably met other Virgos and felt like, okay, I see we don't really have much in common. Like, we're nothing alike. Like, yeah, I might see out of like 100%, I might see 3%, or that's too low. I might see like 25% of the things we possibly have in common, but that's about it. And I think once you hear the breakdown of your numbers, like basically your birthday number, life path number, you'll see why you are so unique compared to maybe the other Virgos that you might know. So let's get on with this. So Virgo is the 6th sign of the zodiac. And Virgo is a earth sign, making Virgo a feminine sign. And when I say feminine, I don't mean related to sex. Feminine meaning that feminine signs gain energy from within, almost like how an introvert would gain energy. So Virgo is a feminine sign, and it is a mutable sign ruled by the planet Mercury. And being mutable makes Virgo very flexible. And I don't know if I mentioned that Virgo is an earth sign. So earth signs are pretty practical. So this makes Virgo pretty practical but flexible within their practicality, if that makes sense. So with Virgo being an earth sign, Virgo is super practical. With Virgo being represented by the Virgin, I find that, so one day I was thinking deeply about, you know, what it means to be a virgin. And I have strong Virgo in my chart. I'm a Virgo rising. If, you know, some people say they could just tell immediately, who knows. But yes, so basically with Virgo being represented by the Virgin, and when I think about a virgin, I think about someone that is unexperienced, because that's what makes a virgin, because they haven't experienced sex, you know. So with Virgo being represented by the Virgin, I feel like number one, it shows like basically the inexperience. And even if a Virgo is experienced, I find that we always question ourselves. It's like we're always questioning ourselves and aspiring to perfection, just like a virgin to me represents perfection. So that's where that part of our personality, I believe, come from, with us always aspiring to perfection and always needing things to be perfect. Goes back to that Virgin. And another thing too, with the Virgo being represented by the Virgin and the Virgin having to do with, you know, being inexperienced, I find that Virgos don't trust themselves. They don't always trust, like, okay, when I say trust themselves, it's like, yes, Virgo is a super intelligent sign because it is ruled by the planet of intelligence and information, which is Mercury. And one thing, and Virgo actually is the most intelligent sign compared to all the other signs, based on a few articles that I've seen that was saying like what month the most intelligent people are born, and that's September, you know, and that's Virgo. So yes, with Virgo being so intelligent, I find that Virgos still question themselves, like question whether they're wrong or right. And I feel like that's why Virgos will put so much time and effort into researching a topic and wanting to know it in and out because they question themselves so much. Like for me personally, I could be studying something forever, and when you have a conversation with me, it'll be obvious that I know a lot about this thing, but at the same time, I'll still second guess myself to a certain extent when it comes to this thing, because even though I'm good, I'm always trying to be better. And that's the Virgo archetype. It's like good enough isn't good for Virgo. Virgos aspire to be better. And because of that, I feel like, you know, this sign will deal with anxiety and just worry over things that aren't even important, because in our minds, it's like we put so much pressure on ourselves. And with Mercury being the planet of communication, sitting in the earth sign Virgo, who is super practical and earthly, I feel like Virgos are good when it comes to practical things, like being good with their hands, even though the hands is ruled by Gemini, who's also ruled by Mercury. I find that Virgos are also good with like practical earthly things and just being knowledgeable about things. And the difference between the Virgo and the Gemini, who's also ruled by Mercury, yes, Gemini is an air sign having to do with the intellect and the mind, but Virgo is willing to pretty much dig deep into a topic. So Mercury inside Virgo is the energy of communication and information and knowledge in a sign that is willing to dig very deep and research something and go as far as basically that thing will go. Like Virgo have the ability to analyze something and just find the littlest details in things. I find with my Virgo rising, like I'll be able to, the way I learn things is through patterns. And you might notice this about yourself. Virgos are good at noticing patterns in things. And in the process of trying to learn something, you might find yourself always looking for a pattern in it, where when there's no pattern, that's when something is harder to like connect to. And in the process of noticing patterns in things, you might be able to notice patterns in people's behavior, like the way they walk, the way they talk, and start to group people and start to realize, okay, and start to just know things about people based on these patterns that are so familiar, based on the same patterns you've seen in someone else. And some people might write it off as being psychic and whatnot, but it is just that you are so good at focusing on the littlest details to where you can predict outcomes just by the patterns and the details. You know, where some people, they might have to experience something and learn the hard way, and you know, where you can sit back and just see it all. The downside with this, with us Virgos, is that we might be so focused on the littlest details to where we miss out on the bigger picture, or we might be so focused on the littlest detail to where we might be having a debate with someone and we're going back and forth, and it's like we're just defending this little detail within this thing, causing us again to kind of like miss out on the bigger picture, or just waste so much energy focusing on the littlest detail. Like for me personally, I might take a picture and I might zoom in and notice, I don't know, just notice a little simple thing, and because of that I delete it and I start all over. Where as time go by, with me being aware of this about myself, I try to just leave it alone and just say, you know what, that's what makes it authentic. Because another thing with the focusing on the detail, it's like in the process of aspiring for perfection, it's like we will edit the hell out of something and try to make it so perfect to where it gets boring. You know, in the process, like maybe getting dressed, it's like everything just needs to be neat and in place to where it's like, yeah, you know, like it looks cute, but you know, like imagine a lady dressed up for church or whatever, and she has on the red beaded necklace and the red beaded bracelet, and just it's like everything match and it's cute and whatnot, but it's just so perfect to where it's just there's no life in it. So I think we have to be careful of the way we focus so much on the littlest details, even though that's actually one of our strong points. But it's important for us to balance that out. And I say we because even though I'm just a Virgo rising, I feel like I strongly connect with this energy. And it's not even just a Virgo rising. With Mercury being my chart ruler, I strongly connect with this energy. So yes, focusing on the details. It's like, yes, the details are like the pixels that make up a big picture, but it's important for us not to get lost in the details. Virgos are super health conscious. I find that the risings are more health conscious than the suns, but overall the Virgo sign is super health conscious, and that also may have to do with Virgo being the ruler of the 6th house, and the 6th house has to do with our health. And the 6th house also has to do with our day-to-day routines. And another thing that I noticed with Virgos is like Virgos are super hard workers and just super ambitious people. Like when I had a salon and I used to hire employees, like assistants, I found that my best assistant was a Virgo. Like she was the only person that I would trust to like go away for as long as possible and leave everything in her hands, because she was so detailed and she made everything so perfect to where it's like it felt like the salon, which was my baby, it felt like my baby was her baby. And there was a time when I started paying her to clean up, you know, because I was able to pay her to clean up instead of doing all of that by myself. And the place would be so spotless, just like when I would clean it, because you know it's my baby and I'm gonna put like extra work and effort into it. But she would do the same. And I might be sitting at the office and I got my foot on the chair and she'll tell me, hey, get your foot down, like she's the one in charge. But I love that about her. So one thing that I love about a Virgo is work ethic. I feel like if you have a business and you want somebody to get in there and build that from the ground up with you, like you want to hire a Virgo, because, you know, like similar to number 4 in numerology, and I'm going to get into that, Virgos are super hardworking, and I could relate to that energy being a Virgo rising because I actually love to work. And as you guys could see, Beyonce is a Virgo and whatnot. She also has a strong number 4. I'll get into that later. But she's a Virgo, very detailed and a perfectionist about the work that she does. I think Nicki Minaj has a Virgo moon. I'm not sure, don't quote me on that, but that's what I think. But when it comes to things that we enjoy, it's like we feel good about working because that's the practicality of the earth, which is physical labor. And that's what I meant with Virgos liking to be physical, not necessarily with their hands, but liking to be physical. And Virgo is a humanitarian sign. You know, this is the sign that wants to take care of others and in a physical way, get in there, get dirty, and just help and take care of others in any way that they possibly can, because Virgos enjoy being of service. Like Virgos love to help. They love to feel like they're being useful. It's like that's where Virgos get their kicks, and that's what makes them good workers and good at work, because they like being useful. They like being of use. Another thing with Virgos is that Virgos are super critical, and to some people might look at it as being bitchy or mean or nitpicking, but observing myself personally, I feel like Virgos are only critical if they care about you. It's almost like that's how a Virgo tries to help you, by pointing out the things that you can work on to make things better. Because again, Virgos are so good at seeing the littlest details in something. So another person might be totally unaware that this is what they need to do to turn their life around, and Virgo will see their patterns and say, and a light bulb will go off like, okay, well, if he stops doing this, and that, then he'll definitely see more income, and he'll definitely stop struggling every month when it comes to his bills, you know, because Virgos are able to stand back and just see everything that makes the picture what it is. It's like, see all the nuts and screws and bolts that holds everything together. Virgos are super, super good at that. With Virgos being mutable, I feel like is tough, because being mutable means that you're flexible. And being mutable kind of reminds me of water being able to mold to certain situations. So I feel like mutable signs can easily be misunderstood, because with a sign being mutable, that means it is in its nature to be flexible. So you might come off flexible about one thing, as in, it's like, so when someone meets you for the first time or whatever, it's like you're able to just like flex with this and flex with that. Like, it's like water. It's like you're able to, it's like you could be poured into any situation and you kind of fit in and blend with that. And even though that's the natural nature of the archetype, I feel like sometimes like that's just super annoying, because you might find yourself agreeing with things that you really don't agree with, only to change your mind later. And it's like, hey, but before you seem to agree, where it's just a natural instinct to kind of like mold with something. And then it's like, once you're comfortable, it's like, wait, I don't agree with that. But I'm gonna go into the numbers and tell you, you know, why as a Virgo you might meet other Virgos and you guys are just not alike. And before I go deeper into the numbers, let's just start off with Virgos who are born in the month of August. See, Virgos who are born in the month of August are going to be a lot more serious than the Virgos who are born in the month of September. Virgos who are born in the month of August are not going to be as like Virgos can be friendly overall, but September Virgos tend to laugh a lot, be super friendly, and at the same time are super chameleons. Chameleons meaning that they just fit in everywhere they go. Where the Virgos who are born in August will tend to come off a little bit more cold and distant. And I'll get into that when I get into the number 8, which is August, and the number 9, which is September. But yeah, Virgos who are born in August tend to, you know, go about things in more of a traditional way, because that's what the number 8 has to do with. Where Virgos in September will be more of like people pleasers, because the number 9 is a humanitarian and selfless. So the way how to get in on this action and learn about yourself personally, you are going to need your life path number and your birthday number. The way how to get your life path number is by adding up all the numbers within your birthday and reducing to a single digit. I'm going to give you an example somewhere on the screen. When it comes to your birthday number, you want to, if you have 2 digits in your birthday, you want to add them together, reduce to a single digit, but you also want to listen out for each digit, because they both carry a strong vibration. Like for example, if you were born on the 12th, you want to listen out for the number 1 and the number 2, and mainly the number 3, because that's what they reduce to. Normally, when people add up all the numbers in their birthday and they reduce to a number 11 or a number 22 or a number 33, those are considered master numbers. So even though you will still have to reduce them, you want to listen out for basically, so say you got the number 11, the master number 11. You want to listen out to what I say about the number 1. Keep in mind that energy is amplified because it is reduced. Also the number 2, because that is what it reduced to. The master builder number 22, you want to listen out for the number 2 vibration. Keep in mind it was repeated, so it's amplified. And the number 4, because that is what it reduces to. You also want to listen out for the number 30. When you listen out for the master number 33, you want to listen out for the number 3 because it was repeated, so it's amplified. And then you want to listen out for the number 6 because that is what it reduced to. So Virgos who are born on the 1st of the month or have a strong number 1 vibration, meaning you reduce to a life path number 1, these Virgos will still have the Virgo characteristics in the sense that they want to be of service and they like to give and, you know, give back and, you know, and all that good stuff. But at the same time, these Virgos are going to have a sense of confidence about them, because people who are strongly associated with the number 1 vibration tend to have a kingly, queenly type of aura about them. These Virgos, though, will seem a little bit more self-centered because the number 1 vibration represents the self in numerology. It represents the father, it represents new beginnings and creativity. So even if this is a female, she's going to have a more masculine vibe about her. And when I say masculine, more dominant, more direct, more forceful, because that's what the masculine energy is, even though the Virgo energy is a feminine energy. So this female is going to have a balance of masculine and feminine energy about her. If it's a man, he's just going to seem super dominant and super kingly within his whole vibe, presence, and whatnot. And like I said, with the number 1 representing the self, you know, depending on the lower, high vibration, whatever this person's vibrating with, they might come off a little bit self-centered. Virgo strongly associated with the number 2 vibration. This is going to be a Virgo who is super sensitive, super giving, super nurturing, super loving. My grandfather, he was born on the 20th. That reduces to the number 2 vibration, and he is a Virgo. He's a life path 1, so he carries all the good dominant father vibe of the number 1, but he also had strong number 2 vibration. So even though as the number 1 he was dominant and had this kingly vibe about him, with the strong number 2 vibration, he cried a lot, meaning he cried because he was happy. Like, he always shed tears of joy. You know, he would cry like, oh my, he would say things like, I'm just so grateful, God is so good to me, and he would cry about stuff like that. So Virgos who are strong associated with the number 2, super sensitive and emotional, but these people are like bridges. They bridge other people together. Like when my grandfather would come to America to visit, people from all over would come to visit. It would be almost like a family reunion because he's around, because the Virgo energy is such a humanitarian energy to begin with. And with the number 2 being present, like the number 2 is a mother, the number 2 is nurturing, the number 2 is caring, the number 2 unifies people. And that's exactly what he did when he was alive. He is my favorite person and my hero, not one, he is my hero. So Virgo strongly associated with the number 3 vibration. This is going to be a Virgo who is, yes, Virgos naturally, hygiene is very important to a Virgo. Like Virgos will take more showers than anybody else when it comes to, like, it's just important for them to keep themselves clean. Virgos strongly associated with the number 3 are going to be childlike. This Virgo is going to be super creative, super artsy, and just super playful in the things that they do. Like these Virgos will be the ones who aspire to do something in the creative field, whether it's writing, speaking, just anything that has to do with like creative self-expression and just being on a stage. It doesn't have to be a literal stage. It could be the stage of your Instagram where people are checking out the creative things that you are doing, because the number 3 is a creative self-expression of the 1 and the 2. So the 1 is the mother, the 1 is the father, the 2 is the mother, and the number 3 is the child, the creative self-expression of the number 1 and 2. And people strongly associated with the number 3 vibration might find that in early school days they struggled with learning. Even though Virgo is ruled by the planet Mercury, that has to do with our intellect and our intelligence. The number 3 vibration, being such a ball of creative energy, has a hard time focusing on one thing at a time, even though the Virgo energy is so analytical. Because the number 3 being creative self-expression, it's like the mind is moving so quickly and coming up with new ideas and, you know, touching that idea and letting go of that idea. So focusing may have been challenging for these people as children. So they might have been thought to be dyslexic or ADD, or, you know, different things having to do with learning disorder, when really it's just laziness, because the number 3 is just a busybody and wants to get on with things that are more interesting. So this person might look at the word horse and see the word house, because they sized it up, saw the word at the beginning, saw the word at the end, and just call it. To me, it's more of laziness, because, you know, this number likes to be interested in what it does. So yes, in earlier part of life, this number may have struggled with these things, but really, this is what this number is actually great at. People, Virgos strongly associated with the number 3, will realize that they are meant to be center stage. They are meant to be speakers, writers, just anything that has to do with expressing themselves creatively. And what they thought they suck at, it was really just laziness, you know, to be honest. And if they kept at it, they will master it, because people strongly associate with the number 3, you know, like when Saturn is present, you might not be good at this thing in the beginning, but if you keep at it, you end up mastering it. Virgo strongly associated with the number 4. These Virgos are very steady and very practical in everything that they do. And these Virgos are your savers. And even though they're steady, practical, and savers, it's like, to me, they might struggle or they might miss out because they fail to take risks that are necessary, because they're looking for everything to be so practical, when yes, practicality is helpful in the earthly plane, but sometimes you have to trust your intuition and go with that. But the Virgo strongly associated with the number 4 vibration, they're going to pretty much want to work hard and build everything brick by brick. So this would probably be the Virgo that invests in real estate, because they can physically see how things happen, opposed to investing in stocks and things like that. So Beyonce is a Virgo strongly associated with the number 4, and the number 4 is the hardest working number in the game. No number can outwork the number 4. So if you observe Beyonce with her attention to detail, the Virgo energy, and then the number 4 vibration working hard, it's like it gives you a bigger picture. So like people like Drake, Beyonce, like I said, Puff Daddy, Jay-Z, and Oprah Winfrey, these people are strongly associated with the number 4 vibration, and you just cannot outwork the number 4 vibration. Like Drake says, you never see me out because I live at my workplace. That is the number 4, because they're super concerned with stability, foundation, and just securing a future for themselves. So they're always concerned with the security, you know, so they're gonna work hard and save their coins, because they're always preparing for that rainy day, even if it never comes. Virgo strongly associated with the number 5 vibration. People strongly associated with the number 5 vibration are super good at communicating. Like, these people are super communicative. Like, they like to, these are your storytellers. If you look up a lot of our authors, you know, and storytellers, public speakers, they'll have either the strong number 3 or the strong number 5. So these are the Virgos who are really good at just pretty much sparking up a conversation with just anyone. And with Virgo being such a mutable sign and so flexible, these people are good at pretty much just going around and sparking conversations with just anyone. If anything, people strongly associated with the number 5 vibration, they're curious about different people, different cultures, different things. They kind of remind me of Sagittarius as far as being curious about things outside of themselves. And the number 5 vibration needs constant stimulation. So it's like they tend to get bored easily. If you go to their home, you might notice that the TV is playing in one room and there might be a radio going in the next, but they're on their phone. And in some way, somehow, they're able to engage in all these things at once, because they'll get super bored just doing one thing at a time. And with the number 5, I find that they don't like silence because they're afraid of what they will hear within themselves if it gets too quiet. And I feel like that is because this energy is super telepathic. You know what I mean? Like, they're able to tap into realms and planes, but that's a whole nother video. And somewhere within themselves, they know that, so they try to quiet it down with just different things that we do to escape, whether it's food, social media, sex, whatever it is that we do to escape. You know, that is what the number 5 will do. If exercise is not it, you know, a healthy way to deal with our constant need for stimulation is exercise. So yeah, find healthy ways to, you know, stimulate yourself. Virgo strongly associated with the number 5. Virgo strongly associated with the number 6 are going to be your Virgos who are all about the community. They're all about their family. They're all about their homes. These are also going to be Virgos where, okay, so Virgos on a whole, I feel like even though Virgo has to do with the earth, even though Virgo is an earth sign, which makes them practical, and earth signs have to do with earthly matters, I don't feel like Virgos on a whole are materialistic people. But the number 6 vibration rules the material plane. So I feel like Virgo strongly associated with the number 6 vibration will be the Virgo that is a little bit more concerned about material things more than others. But overall, Virgos strongly associated with the number 6 vibration are going to be, like I said, family oriented. So these are going to be the people that like to bring friends together, like to bring family together. Yeah, these people like to host different events or anything that has to do with bringing people together, because that's what the number 6 is all about. If you look at the number 6, it looks pregnant. And that is because people strongly associated with the number 6 are good nurturers. They are good at nurturing people and just making people feel good. Like, this is the number that if you start at a new school or a new job, people strongly associated with the number 6, these are going to be the ones that come up to you and invite you into the groups or invite you to different events. Like, basically, they'll help you feel at home, because that's what the number 6 is all about. Feeling, you know, like just nurturing people and bringing them together. Like, the fathers, you know, are more like mother figures. Like, so you might have say for example, a Virgo father who's a life path 6, and he might be more of a mom than your actual mother, because Virgo is naturally a nurturing energy anyways, and the number 6 likes to nurture and take care. The only thing with the number 6, Virgo strongly associated with the number 6, is that the number 6 might tend to define success based off of material things, material gain. And true success actually comes from spiritual and emotional growth, because if you are spiritually and emotional steady or stable, you can lose everything, but you are built like a rock within and have everything that it takes to get it all right back. Virgo strongly associated with the number 7 vibration. I feel like these Virgos are going to be the ones who are going to be more introspective. These are going to be the Virgos that are like, imagine the sage. Is it the sage? Or yes, the sage, and even the hermit card in the tarot, where this old wise man is on this mountain with this lampshade off on this journey. I feel like that would be a life path number 7, or a Virgo strongly associated with the number 7. Even if this person is young, they'll have this old wise man or woman vibe about them, because this person is observing themselves on a deeper level, looking for God and they're actually looking in the right place because God can be found within. So yes, a Virgo with a strong number 7 vibration is not going to be the Virgo who is going to want to hear how things are supposed to be or what tradition or facts say, because they like to make sense out of things, make sense for themselves. Where Virgo strongly associated with the number 8 will be more traditional. They will be the ones to more gravitate towards what tradition said things are supposed to be, where the number 7 is not traditional at all, completely unorthodox. And these are your researchers. Where the number 8 now, the number 8 is more of a concrete thinker. This is going to be the Virgo who is the CEO of the company. This is going to be the Virgo who pretty much works hard on being successful in acquiring wealth and things like that. Because the number 8 is attracted to wealth, and wealth is attracted to the number 8. The number 8 is also a student and a teacher for life. You know, the number 8 or Virgos also associated with the number 8 will always reflect on how they can add value to themselves, how they can make more money. And the way to make more money in today's society is to go to school. That is how you add value to yourself. So people strongly associated with the number 8 will find themselves either doing some certificate program or adding to their degrees, or whatever they can to just add value to themselves. Observing these people from the outside, you might misunderstand them to be a little bit cold and distant. And that is because people who are strongly associated with the number 8 vibration, it's like, just like a feminine sign that pretty much gains their energy by bringing their attention within. The number 8 is always reflecting on themselves. They're always like focusing on how they can make something better, how they can add value to themselves, and sometimes being super hard on themselves. On the outside, it might seem like they're emotionless and don't care, when really on the inside they're feeling it. They just have a really blank outer exterior. But the number 8 is your, like I said, I think I said controlled network or teacher student for life, and an authority figure. So these will be the people that normally get the positions that has to do with overseeing other people and just being managers. My mom is strongly associated with the number 8 vibration, and I told her she should be a teacher, because at least that way she's not going back to school always pursuing something to add value to herself, even though she actually likes the idea of being in school, because she likes being a part of the system, being part of a system, because the number 8 has to do with system, and she feels stable being within a system. But I feel like if she's working as a teacher, then she'll be a part of that, and she'll be learning for a living as you learn new curriculum to teach it back. Virgos strongly associated with the number 9. These are your Virgos who will be super flexible, so flexible that they tend to lose themselves in everyone that matters to them, because Virgos strongly associated with the number 9 don't like to rock the boat. These people can be selfless. These people can be just selfless and empaths. The number 9s are empaths. They are able to feel what other people are feeling and give them what they need in return, so that they themselves can have peace, because they can pick up so much on what other people are feeling. So because of that, Virgo strongly associated with the number 9 may tend to be chameleons. And when I say chameleon, I don't mean that in a negative light. What I mean by that is that basically, like water, you're able to mold and fit to any situation. The downside of that is that you find yourself in relationships where you think you're being yourself, but you're not really being yourself, and you don't realize that until the relationship is over. And that's when you realize that, damn, you're finding yourself all over again. Or you end up in situations where you feel like, and I feel like this could go for Virgos on a whole, you end up in situations and you feel like the person is super controlling, where the person has always been who they are, is just being so mutable in the beginning. We come off and act like everything is okay when once we get comfortable, it's like, no, that's not okay. Virgo strongly associated with the number 9, and just the number 9 energy in general has a hard time letting go. So even though this person might be in a community that no longer fits with who they are, it might take a lot for a person strongly associated with the number 9, even a September Virgo, to move out of their old community, to move out of their old whatever, or leave a toxic ass relationship that's no longer working for them, hasn't been working for them, but it just feels safer. So the number 9, Virgos associated with the number 9, it's important that you learn to let go. The last thing that I want to say about the number 9 is the number 9 could be super, well, not the last thing, something else just came to mind. The number 9 could be super trendy. So if a Virgo associated with the number 9 grew up in a time where tattoos were popular, this Virgo might find that they have tattoos all over, even though the Virgo sign in general, having to do with the virgin and being pure and, you know, having to do with perfection, might not want to have anything to do with, you know, tattoos or putting anything on their bodies. But the number 9 Virgo just might, because, you know, it was trendy at the time. Another thing with the number 9 being selfless is, like, the number 9 is so selfless, and you can tell by adding any number to it. You add the number 2 to the number 9 and you get the number 11. You reduce it, it goes back to the number 2. A true humanitarian, like the number 9 and a Virgo, is one who helps without taking away from that person. And yeah, that's how selfless the number 9 is. It will help you without taking anything away from you, but just by adding to you. I hope this information was helpful. I know it was a lot of information, and if you happen to sit through all of this, I would love to know about it. So please, in the comment box below, leave me an apple. Yes, leave me an apple emoji. I say apple because Virgos are super health conscious. With me being a Virgo rising, I'm actually a vegan. I started out with empathy, but after a while it led to me being health conscious after reading labels all the time. So yes, leave me an apple in the comment box below. I don't care if it's green, I don't care if it's red, but leave me an apple so that I know that you made it all the way through all of this information, and I didn't sit here and pile on all of this information for no reason, that you actually made it through to the end. And yes, I really enjoy creating this content. So yeah, let me know, leave me an apple and let me know you made it. So yeah, share me your views on this video. I thank you so much for watching. Keep in mind that, don't forget, I should say, that self-awareness is a superpower. Please share this video with your Virgo friends, or share it on a social media site or wherever. Just share it. Please subscribe to this channel. And I look so forward to seeing you in the next video. All right, have a good one.